Hello, good morning, my dear students, and I welcome you back to the English online class. Let's continue and finish off this chapter today. I'm in a full mood to complete the chapter, so I hope that within my time slot I'll be able to complete the chapter. In Albert Einstein at School by Patrick Pringle, what we have done till now, a very quick feedback of it. Okay, in this, we have seen that Albert Einstein, who was admitted in a German school by his parents to get a diploma, was actually not interested in staying over there and getting education because it seems that he was not at all interested in the studies what was going on in that German school and very intensely wanted to go back to his home place, that is Italy. And it so happened that the story started with a clash between his history teacher and he himself, where he tells about education not being something reading facts and figures but idea, innovation, discoveries, etc., for which he gets a lot of sarcastic comments from his history teacher. And then we have seen about his lodging where he was living, and he felt really very pathetic and very he feels very let down going to that place to live in, because he very much hated the slum violence that persisted over there. He was not worried about the bad food or the dirtiness that prevailed there, but the slum violence, the beating of children, the beating of the landlady, that bothered him a lot. Then we came across one of his good friend which he had made in spite of all his disappointments, that is Yuri, and the discussion between the two about the duel that was fought between two of the boys of the boys hostel, whom Albert thought to be very civilized. And after this incident he was totally shocked to hear that these all kind of things happens in the hostel among the boys. Then we have seen his conversation with Elsa, in which Elsa asked him to complete his diploma, and he says that it seems to be a difficult task because he don't have the habit of just by hearting or mugging up and then repeating in the paper. To which Elsa said that he has to do this, and there was talk between them about the book which he always carried, that is a book of geology. And Albert gave a very solid reason that if he likes it, that's why he carries it. So is that reason not good enough for him to carry the book with him? Elsa stays quiet but asks him to complete the diploma. And then we saw Albert telling Yuri after a few months of his stay in Munich that he cannot take it any longer, and staying over there means actually deceiving a lot of people like his father, his teachers, he himself, and wastage of money and energy, because he's not able to fit into that atmosphere. And then Yuri say that what to do, and he comes up with a brilliant idea of catching up a doctor, means a neurologist or something of that sort, will deal with the nerves and give a certificate to him that he is suffering from nervous breakdown and needs to stay far from the school for a few months. And then he asked Yuri whether he can manage to have so. And Yuri did get a doctor named as Dr. Ernest Whale. He gives the address and also takes an appointment for Albert. And he wants Albert not to deceive him, because not that Albert loves to tell lies, but Albert is a worst liar. And then Albert was very nervous, actually thinking what to tell the doctor. That when he actually met the doctor, he was really nervous, and doctor calmed him down by telling that Yuri had already told him about Albert's problem. To which Albert felt a little awkward as well as embarrassed that his secret was out, that he want a fake certificate for something that he was actually not suffering from. And then he thought that the doctor might send him back with a lecture that you are not suffering and all those kind of things, so you should be going to the school and all. But to his entire dismay, he was encountering a totally different kind of a doctor. The doctor said that he understands all those things, and he also understands that really Albert might be at the peak of such a situation, because of which he was compelled to come to the doctor asking for a fake certificate, and that too of nervous breakdown. So so the doctor, he said that he will give a certificate of around some 6 months, and also asked him what Albert will do after receiving the certificate, what he will do. To that, Albert says that he will go back to Milan, his hometown, means which is in Italy, and try to get admission in one of the colleges or university over there. And then when doctor asked how is that possible, he said that I'll try to get a good reference letter, especially from my mathematics teacher, because I had been studying all mathematics over there in the school, actually only mathematics. And in this way he received the certificate, and in return of the certificate, doctor never charged him any fees, but instead asked him that he must take Yuri, who's a good friend of both of them, means a mutual friend. He should just take him out for a meal. And then Albert kept his promise and did so. This is what we have done in the previous videos. And now let us hope that we will be able to conclude the chapter today with the actually what is waiting for Albert to see that. So here, the continuation. Isn't it wonderful? He said after showing Yuri the certificate. Yes, it's fine. Yuri agreed. 6 months is a good period. This way you won't actually be leaving the school. So if the worst comes to the worst, you'll be able to come back and carry on for your diploma. I'll never go back to that place, Albert assured him. I'm going to take the certificate to the head teacher tomorrow, and that will be the end of it. Don't forget to get a reference in writing from your mathematics teacher first, Yuri reminded him. Now, after getting the certificate, it was like Albert was on the seventh cloud, Satve Asman with her, and he showed that certificate to Yuri, and he said that, don't it look like wonderful, isn't it? He said, and Yuri said, yeah, definitely. 6 months means staying far from the school means it gives you a benefit. Just 6 months you can be there at your home, and if you feel like that things have not worked out the way you want and you want to come back for the diploma, you can come back. Albert said, no way, I'm not going to come back to this place again. He was like 100% sure. So he assured him, he made Yuri believe that no, I'm not going to come at all to this place. And tomorrow morning itself, I will take the certificate to the head teacher, and finished. My this entire torment will come to an end, he said. So Yuri just reminded him that, oh, okay, do that, but don't forget to take that reference letter from your mathematics teacher. He said to him. Now, let us see that what is waiting for him. Okay, Mr. Coach. Now, Mr. Coach is his mathematics teacher. Mr. Coach willingly gave Albert the reference he wanted. If I say I can't teach you anymore, and probably you will soon be able to teach me, will that be all right? He asked. That's saying too much, sir, said Albert. Okay, Mr. Coach, he willingly means voluntarily, means on his own wish, he gave off a reference letter to Albert, and even he asked Albert, what should I write down in that? And he said that, should I write down that you have finished all your learning, and you're so very educated that you can even teach me? Don't know whether it was a taunting comment on him or it was a genuine thing. That we don't know. But the teacher said to the student, means Mr. Coach said to Albert this way कि मैं ये लिख के दूँ कि तुमने तो सब पढ़ लिया है, एंड अब तुम इतने कैपेबल हो कि तुम मुझे भी पढ़ा सकते हो. तो इट्स काइंड ऑफ अ taunt only, but don't know, we can't say anything. So Albert, he said that, oh sir, please, that is too much to write down on the paper. And then he said, it's only the truth, but all right, I'll put it more seriously. Okay, so he was not taunting, he was not really, actually not very sarcastic. It was true that Albert had completed all his mathematics learning, and he was so very capable enough that he could have taught the teacher as well. But then Mr. Coach said that, okay, I won't write down like that, but a little more serious one I'll write down. But truth is that only. And it was still a glowing reference, and Mr. Coach made the point that Albert was ready immediately to get a college or institute for the study of her mathematics. Okay. In spite of all those talk that was between Mr. Coach and Albert, Mr. Coach had really seen to it that the reference letter which he's writing, that is a really a positive one, a very good one, and Albert could immediately get an admission in any kind of college or university of Italy for the study of higher mathematics. I'm sorry you are leaving us, although you are wasting your time in my class, he said. It's almost the only class where I'm not wasting my time, said Albert. But how did you know I'm leaving, sir? You wouldn't have asked me for this reference otherwise. I thought you would wonder. There's nothing to wonder about, Einstein. I knew you were going to leave before you knew yourself. Albert was puzzled. What did the teacher mean? Now, after that, Mr. Coates said to Albert that, Albert, I feel really very sorry that you are a talent and you're simply wasting your time in the school, in my class. Then Albert said that, sorry, sir, yours class is the only class where I'm not wasting my time. I'm really studying. And he asked, sir, how do you know that I'm leaving? Then Sir said that, oh, definitely you are leaving. That's why you came for the reference letter to me. Otherwise, why you would have come to me? So Albert said that, no, I was wondering. Then teacher said something. What he said, he said, there's nothing to wonder, Einstein. Before you knew, we all were knowing that you want to leave the school. Now Albert was puzzled. अब Albert के समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि क्या हो रहा है. And how come the teacher saying this thing and what does he actually mean? I was not getting it. He soon found out. Before he had a chance to ask for an interview with the head teacher, he was summoned to the head's room. Well, it saves me the trouble of having to wait an hour or two outside, he thought. Really, Albert was a specimen. When he started thinking that what could be the reason that the teacher said so then very soon he came to know about it. Actually, what happened? He has to go and meet the headmaster to give that certificate. And definitely, when he wants to meet the headmaster, he has to wait till the headmaster gets free. So it would have taken maybe an hour too. But instead of that, the headmaster called for him. Servant means he called for him. And when the headmaster is coming, means that immediately he can meet. So he said that, oh, thank God my time will be saved off. And let's see further. He hardly bothered to wonder why he had been sent for, but vaguely supposed he was to be punished again for bad work and laziness. Well, he had finished with punishments. And when he was called, like if your principal calls you, you will be like head to toe. You will be shivering, you will be quivering, and a horror of chill will run through your body, thinking and recollecting, oh my God, what I might have done that I'm called in the principal's office. Whether again I have done something for which I'm going to get either bashing, scolding, or punishments, what I'm going to get. But here, Albert was so very happy with that certificate in his pocket and the fact that he will be leaving the school and going, and with that nice glowing reference letter for admission in other college. He didn't even bother to think over that why the headmaster called me. Then he thought that, again for some punishment, maybe for the laziness or for some bad work or something of that sort. Then he said that, the time is gone of punishments and all. I'm going to leave the school and go. Then, I'm not going to punish you, the head teacher said, to Albert's surprise. Your work is terrible. And I'm not prepared to have you here any longer, Einstein. I want you to leave the school now. Leave school now? Repeated Albert, dazed. That is what I said. You mean, said Albert, that I'm to be expelled? Okay, he got the shock of his life. What Albert wanted? He wanted to be out of the school. That's what his motive was. That is why he had taken the pain of going to the doctor, pretending something that he never had, and then getting the certificate, taking Yuri for a meal. All those kind of pain he had gone through. Okay? And then when he reached the headmaster's room, the head teacher, he said to him, I'm not going to punish you, Albert. Albert was surprised. Then why he had called me? He said to Albert, see the lines Carefully, huh? I hope you all are keeping the textbook open in front of you when the reading is going on and when explanation I'm doing. He said that when Albert was very surprised. Oh, really? He's not going to punish me? Then why he called me over here? Then head teacher said, "You are terrible. You just think your work is terrible, is it? Anyone praise you like that? Your work is terrible. तुम्हारा काम बड़ा ही प्रॉब्लमेटिक टेरेबल है, तुम बिल्कुल एकदम सत्यानाशी बिल्कुल टेरेबल इंसान हो. And I'm not prepared to have you here any longer. I don't want you any longer in the school," he said. So he said, "Einstein, I want you to leave the school." Now, the tables have turned. How come this happened? Albert was going to tell him that I want to leave the school, and here the head teacher is telling that I want you to leave the school. So Albert, he was totally shocked and he said, "What? Leave the school? No." Then head teacher said that, "Yeah, that's what I said. You have to leave the school." So Albert repeated, "You mean I'm going to be expelled out of the school? Means I'm going to be thrown out of the school?" Then the head teacher, he said, "You can take it that way if you wish, Einstein." The head teacher was not mincing words. "The simplest thing will be for you to go of your own accord, and then the question won't arise." "But," said Albert, "what crime I have committed?" Now, it seems little funny that the person who wants to leave and go, when he is given a chance to leave and go, he is asking that, "Why should I? What I have done?" Now, what is this? Albert wanted to leave the school. When he was getting a chance to leave the school, he's asking the teacher, "Why I have to leave the school? What have I done?" The teacher has actually said to him, when Albert said that I'm going to get expelled, he said that you can take it in that way, and it will be very good if you go on your own. Then the question won't arise. So Albert had asked the question that मैंने किया क्या है? आश्चर्य है ना, बंदा जाना चाहता था, लेकिन जब जाने का मौका मिला तो पूछता है, मैं क्यों जाऊं, मैंने किया क्या है? Actually, ego got hurt. It happens. When you want to say something, to put the power down of the friend person, and the friend person says the same thing but before you, it hurts. And the same thing happened with Albert. He wanted to give head teacher a shock by saying that I'm going to leave the school. But the head teacher gave him a shock by asking him to leave the school, and it was like the things have turned the other way, the vice versa. So, see the reasoning that the head teacher gives. Your presence in the school makes it, a classroom makes it impossible for the teacher to teach and for the other pupils to learn. You refuse to learn, you are in constant rebellion, and no serious work can be done while you are there. Wow! Albert Einstein, the greatest physicist ever history came across. About him, so beautiful lines have been said by his head teacher of German school. He said that your presence is a nagging pain. तुम एक troublemaker हो. In your presence, teacher cannot teach, other students cannot learn. You don't want to learn, and you are always rebellious in nature. तुम बगावत करते रहते हो. No serious work can be done in your presence. We cannot do any kind of teaching or studying or learning or anything in your presence, he said to Albert. Now, Albert felt the medical certificate almost burning a hole in his pocket. You know the meaning of that statement? Burning a hole in the pocket means useless. When you take trouble for something and then it becomes useless. He had kept the certificate in his pocket to give it to the head teacher, and now it looked like it was a total useless effort by him. That's why it has been said, burning a hole in his pocket. I was going to leave anyway, he said. Okay, now gathering up the left out, you can say that pride of his, he gathered it. And he said, as it also I was going to leave and go. Then we are in agreement at least, Einstein, the head said. So the head teacher said that, okay, thank God, at least we agreed on one point, that I want you to leave, or we want you to leave, and you also want to leave. So at least at some point we people are agreeing, he said. For a moment, Albert was tempted to tell the man what he thought of him and of his school. Then he stopped himself. Without another word, holding his head high, he stalked out. Shut the door after you, shouted the head. Albert ignored him. Oh, so much of anger. The moment he said, the head teacher said that we agree on one point, that nobody wants you and you also don't want to be here. Albert was like tempted. He was like, he wanted to tell that what he thinks about his school and he himself, means about the head teacher, but then he held himself back, and without saying even a word, he just holding his head high, he just stalked out, means he just walked out of the room. And when he turned back towards the head teacher shouted and said that, close the door behind you. Means after you go, you close the door. Albert ignored it. He just opened it and went away. He never bothered to close the door, also. He walked straight on, out of the school where he had spent 5 miserable years, without turning his head to give it a last look. He could not think of anyone he wanted to say goodbye to. Okay, after coming out of the room, he did not bother to see anywhere around. He just kept his head high and walked off. He had spent some long time in that school. See here, 5 miserable years is given, and earlier one place 6 months is given. The time period is a little bit of a confusion. Don't pay too much attention over there. Just move on. And it has been said that without looking here and there, because actually in the school he never had anyone to say goodbye. So he, without even bothering to say goodbye, he just walked out of the school. Indeed, Yuri was almost the only person in Munich he felt like seeing. Before he left the town, he had come to hate almost as much as the school. Elsa was back in Berlin and he had no other real friends. Goodbye and good luck, said Yuri when he left. You are going to a wonderful country. I hope you will be happier there. So, out of all the people in Munich, there was only one person he wanted to meet, that is Yuri, because not only the school but also the place he had started coming to hate. And Elsa was in Berlin, so nobody else was there to meet. So he went to meet Yuri, and when they were saying where they were bidding farewell, or they were saying goodbye to each other, Yuri said good luck to him, and also told that you are going to a very wonderful country, your hometown. So I hope that you'll be happier over there. So, in this way, we came to an end of this chapter, where we came to know how Albert Einstein was expelled out of the school. And it's just that we have to remember that uh, we are not supposed to follow the footpath, means the way how Albert did the entire process. I don't say that, but at least you have to remember that education doesn't mean just looking out into the books. Keep your eyes open, keep your ears open, keep yourself updated, keep yourself informative. Note down, or at least you should know that what is going around you. That's what is education. So that's what it is all about. And in the textbook, few questions are given. Let's just have a look at it. What do you understand of Einstein's nature from his conversation with his history teacher, his mathematics teacher, and the head teacher? It means that you have to talk about his responses and his behavior towards these three teachers of his. With history teacher, how he was calm and quiet and very and you can say that very importantly, he was honest regarding stating the fact that studying doesn't mean facts and figures. It means ideas to gather information. That is what it is all about. And then mathematics teacher, definitely he liked his mathematics teacher and he was very respectful towards him, and because of that reason only, that he did all kind of mathematics studies in his school properly, he got a very good glowing reference letter. With his head teacher, it clearly shows that he was like angry to a point that he was about to speak about him as well as his school when he was expelled from the school. So this is how the three people and their means the conversation and the nature of a behavior of Einstein's will be shown towards the three of them. The school system often curbs individual talents discussed. It curbs means erasing off, deleting off, or suppressing. Anything can be used. Now, if we will see, we can say over here that basically the school stresses too much on academic sector, and the other talents and activities are actually overlooked. And basically the reason is that it is there in the mind of everyone that education means only study. Studying subjects like mathematics, science, English, uh, social, physics, chemistry, and then becoming a big scholar and getting a good job. No one ever thinks that life could be made in the field of art. Life could be made in the field of any of the artistic thing like drawing or dancing or something or the other, a pottery or anything. Depends upon a person and his or her talent. So generally, because academic is given a lot of pressure, I think the inborn talents of a student gets erased off. Very few are successful in bringing it out. So about that you have to discuss over there. Your own point of view. How do you distinguish between information gathering and insight information? Information gathering means you are collecting it from the surrounding on your own. Insight information which is already available to you. So on that, on the basis of this chapter's reading, or on the basis of the context, you may please give your own viewpoints over here. So in this way we come to an end, and soon you will be getting the PDF of the extra questions of this chapter as well. So till we meet again, goodbye and stay safe.